In this session, I will discuss about the numerical differentiation. Numerical differentiation is a technique which used to estimate the derivative of a function. In this numerical differentiation, if you come for the numerical differentiation, we are not going to use the techniques of derivatives to obtain the derivative of function, but beyond we have to use the basic concept of the limit for the derivative, but therefore sticking into that concept, we are going to use the approximation method to obtain the derivative of a function. Normally we are using this numerical differentiation. If we are going to obtain a derivative at a point, normally we need to get the derivative at a point of a function at a given point. Therefore, in such situations, we can use the numerical differentiation. And the three difference methods will be considered under this numerical differentiation. Therefore, if you refresh our mind regarding the definition of the derivative of a function at the point x1, we are saying the derivative if we are considering h distance away from a point, and if we are sending the limit of h to 0, then we can define the derivative of a function. Therefore, stick into that concept, then we can say if you need to obtain a derivative at a point x. Now think about if this is the function for your if you are having fx, it is quite like this. Then if you need just to get the derivative at this point, we will let this point as x1, we will say this point as x1. Then here we will have the function fx, and if you need to get the derivative, I can rename this the derivative at the point, we can say the derivative of the function is f dash x, and the point that we are considering is x1. Here we can use these three differential methods. First one is the forward differential method. In the forward differential method, we will consider h distance. H will be a very small distance for the positive side, and using that concept, we will use this forward difference method. Therefore, we can define this h dash x. We can define this would be just now x1 plus h. Therefore, using the basic concept of the derivative, then we can define the forward difference method as f dash x1. It is the derivative for the function if at the point x1. We can define this as the limit h goes to 0. It means that this distance becoming 0, and then we can define it as f x1 plus h minus f x1 divided by h. Here we can identify these 2 points f x1 plus h. Here, if you consider the value of the function at this point, then once you substitute x1, then here you will get the value for f x1, and since this is the point x1 plus h, which means the our graph fx, therefore here we can get the value for f x1 plus h. Now you can easily obtain the values once you know the function fx for the point x1 and point x1 plus h. Then we have to take the difference in this way, and we have to divide it by h. Therefore, using the basic concept for derivative, we can define the forward difference method in this way. The next method is the backward differential method. In the backward differential method, now we are going to consider h distance for the uh, left hand side. It is just the in this way round. Therefore, here we will have h distance. Therefore, now we can say this is x1 minus h, x1 minus h. Therefore, now what we can do is, now as same as previous, now we can identify where will be our point. Here you can see that this is the value we are getting for f x1 minus h. This is where we are getting the point f x1 minus h. Therefore, using those two values, now we can define the backward differential method. When we are going to define this backward differential method, we are getting it as f x1 minus h divided by h, where h is very small distance, and actually we are sending this value of h to 0 to obtain the derivative at point x1. And the next differentiation technique that will be used for numerical differentiation will be the central differencing method. In the central differencing method, we have to pay our attention for both ways. It means that for the backward as well as for the forward. That is why we are using this h distance for the left hand side as well as h distance for the right hand side also. Therefore, in that situation, what we can do is first of all, we can identify h distance for the left hand side. Then point would be x1 minus h, and for the right hand side the point would be x1 plus h. Then we have to identify the values associated with these points for the function fx. If you consider those values, then those would be fx1 minus h and fx1 plus h respectively. Therefore, now you know the function values for the function for these 2 points. Therefore, now you can use this as the central differencing method. Therefore, we can define it as the derivative of function f at the point x1 would be limit h goes to 0 f x1 plus h minus f x1 minus h divided by 2 times h. In the previous two methods, we have just divided it by h. It is because the distance between these 2 points were h. But once you come to the central differencing method, we are considering h distance away from the point for the both sides. Therefore, now you can see the distance is 2 times h. That is why we are using 2h here. And here also we are sending the limit of h to 0 to identify the derivative at point x1. Therefore, these are the fundamentals that we are using for this numerical differentiation. Therefore, sticking into these concepts, now we can define the 2-point formula for the we can define the 2-point formula to identify the obtain the derivative of the function at a given point x1. Okay, here we are saying 2-point formula. It is because based on the 2 points we are obtaining the values. Actually, in the forward differencing also you can see the points x1 and x1 plus h was used. In the backward method, x1 and x1 minus h was used, and for the central differencing method, x1 plus h as well as x1 minus h was used. Therefore, since we are using those 2 points to obtain the values, we can say them as the 2-point formula. Now we'll see what are these techniques. Actually, if you are defining these 2-point formulas, then these could be same as the methods that we have discussed for previously. Therefore, if you define the 2-point formula, here also the forward differential technique will be used, and the forward differentiation technique gives the value for the derivative for the function f at the given point x1. Here we will get an approximate value, not the exact value. We will get an approximate value once you're using this equation. It means that we have to obtain the value for function f at point x1 plus h, and we have to subtract the quantity. It means the value of the function at point x1, and then it has to be divided by h, where h is a very small value. Then in the backward differencing method, we have to use this equation. Here also we are getting an approximation for the derivative of a function of the function at point x1. Therefore, using the concept that we have learned for backward differencing, then we are considering this as f x1 minus if x1 minus h divided by h. Here we are not going to say it as the limit h goes to 0. We are just saying that for small values of h, we are defining these 3 formulas. Therefore, for the central differencing method, we will get the approximation using this equation. It would be f x1 plus h minus f x1 minus h divided by 2 times h. Therefore, these are the 3 formulas that we are defining under 2-point formulas. Therefore, to obtain the 2-point formulas, we have to use these 3 differencing techniques: forward differencing method, backward differencing method, and central differencing method. Therefore, hereafter we are not going to use this fundamental concept. Therefore, we are directly defining these 2-point formulas, and we can directly use them to approximate the values for a given function. Now we will discuss one example for this 2-point formula, how to apply them. This 2-point formula to approximate the value for a derivative of a function. Now think that you are asked to use the forward differentiation technique, backward differentiation technique, and the central differentiation technique to approximate the value for f dash 1.8. Here we may have a function called f, and here it says that we need to take the derivative at at the point 1.8, and they are defining the function f as this. It is fx actually. The function f for x is, now they have given it as the ln x. It is the natural logarithm of x, and they have given the values of h. Several values of h were given. Now we can apply these three functions for the first of all we will take it for h equals 0.1, then we will move forward. Therefore, first of all, we have to identify what are the values for function fx, and what is the value for x1. These are the uh, two things that we have to identify initially. Here I have mentioned the function fx. It is given as ln x, and we need to evaluate the derivative for this function fx at the point x1, and here you can see that point x1 is now equal to 1.8. It is the value that they ask us to evaluate. Therefore, now I will use this table since I need to apply all the three methods for this function. Therefore, I will discuss them one by one. First of all, I will um, go through the calculations for this forward differentiation technique. If you are using this forward differentiation technique, then you can see that the equation that we are using for forward differentiation technique is f dash x1 is now equal to fx1 plus h minus fx1 divided by h. Then in generally here we can see that there are three h values. Therefore, without substituting them at the initially, I will continue the calculation using the value h. Therefore, I can obtain a general equation. Here we can say value of x1 is now equal to 1.8. Then you can say that f dash 1.8 is equal to ln. This is the function we are having, and in the place of x now we have to substitute the value x1 plus 8. Then in this is the function we are having, ln x is the function we are having. Now at the point at the place of x, now we have to substitute the value x1 plus x. But already we know that value of x1 is 1.8. Therefore, we will get the first part as ln 1.8 plus h. Then this minus f x1 it is. Now we have to substitute x1 in the function f. Our function was ln x. Then at the point of x we have to substitute 1.8 and then divide it by the value of h. Therefore, this is the general equation that we can obtain for the forward differentiating technique point at the given point 1.8. Now we will see how we can perform this calculation. Therefore, if I see about this calculation for the forward differentiating, first we will finish this. Then what we can obtain the values are, first of all, I will include this function in the calculator. Therefore, I can see that it is now we have to take it is like a fraction. Therefore, we have to include the value. It is ln 1.8. Then this value plus h. Instead of h, I will take the letter a. It is because I do not have the letter h in the calculator. I will take the constant a. Then this minus natural logarithm of 1.8. then it has to be divided by value of h. H was defined as a. And now we can use the press the calc button. It is because we are having three different h values. We can use one value at a time. Therefore, now we will set the value of a is equal to 0 0.1. It means the value of h equals 0 0.1. Therefore, I will set value of a is equal to 0 0.1. Therefore, okay, here we are getting the answer for with an accuracy of 4 decimal places. Um, it is because I have fixed the calculator. If I clear this calculator and redo the calculation, if I clear the calculator and redo the calculation, and I will get the function in this way. Therefore, once you substitute h equals zero point 0.1, then you can see that it is same as the answer that we have obtained here. Now we can see that for the h equals 0 0.1, you can have the value as 0 0.505406722147, and it is for value of h equals zero point 0.1, and then you can directly use the value of h equals 0.01 also. Therefore, once you use h as 0.01, now you can see the answer we are obtaining for the forward differential technique is 0.5540180,376. And now we will use another smaller value for h. It means that we have to set the new value of a as 0.001. Now I am setting the value of a equals to 0.001. Then I can obtain the answer for the derivative for the function f at the point 1.8 using the forward differencing as 0.55540129117. This is how we are using this forward differential technique to identify a derivative of a function at the given point. And now you can see that here I have considered the x values mm, as they are getting smaller. Now you can see that the forward differential values also change according to the value of h. Okay, now we'll see how we can use this backward differential method. In this backward differential method, we are going to use this formula. Here the formula is f dash x1 equals to f x1 minus f x1 minus h divided by h. Here actually this is just another approximation we are getting. Therefore, we may get some answers differ from the previous answers, but anyhow those answers will be more closer to each other. Then here we have to define what is the value of x1. Here we can say this value is 1.8, and once you apply this x1 in the function, you can see that the equation for backward differentiating is now in this form. Therefore, the substitution gives you the value as ln 1.8 minus ln 1.8 minus h divided by h. Now we'll try to insert this function inside the calculator and try to perform the calculation for the different values of h. Now we are having h equals 0 0.1, 0.01 and the 0.001. Then what we can do is we can first insert these values in the calculator. Therefore, I will write it like this: ln 1.8, this minus ln 1.8 minus h. Instead of h, I will use the letter a, and then this has to be divided by h. Instead of h, again I am using the letter a. And for the values of a, we have to values of h, we have to calculate this function values for this function f dash x1. Then first we have to set the value of h equals to 0.1. Then you can obtain the answer as 0.5715841384. Now you can see that answer for h equals 0.1. Then we have to set the value of h equals to 0.01. Then once you set that value, then you can have the backward differencing. The value obtained using the backward differencing as 0.557104549. And now we have to set the value of a equal to 0.001. Then we can see that the answer we are obtaining is 0.55570993337. And these are the values that we have obtained for the backward differencing method, and then we will apply the central differencing method, and we'll see what are the values that we are getting for the values of h equals 0.1, 0.01 and 0.001. Then for the central differencing method, we will get the function in this form: f dash x1 equals to f x1 plus h minus f x1 minus h, and this has to be divided by the 2 times h. Then here we can say that a value of x1 is now equals to 1.8. Therefore we can have this calculation. We can see this we can have the calculation using the central differencing method, and now we'll try to insert them in the calculator. Therefore if you insert these values to the calculator, then you can get this as here ln 1.8 plus h would be here, then this minus ln 1.8 minus h, and this has to be divided by 2 times h. This has to be divided by 2 times h. Instead of h, I am using the letter a here. Then if I set the value of h to 0.1, then I will get the answer as 0.5561281756. And if you redo this calculation using h.01 and h equals 0.001, then we can see the answers in this 0.001. You can see this answer in the calculator also, and now we will set h equals 0.001. Then you can see the answer is now 0.5555556127. Now you can see this is the table that we have obtained for forward differencing, backward differencing, and the central differencing technique. Now you can see the first 3 values. In the first 3 values, there are some deviations among the first 3 values, but now you can see as the value of h is becoming lower. Now you can see in the downward, you can see the value of h is getting smaller. Since the values are getting more and more smaller, you can say that the precision of these 3 methods are now quite good. It is because you can see the values are almost same once we are having very smaller value for h. Therefore, that is why we are saying that we are defining these approximation techniques for the very smaller values of h. Therefore, as h goes as h is becoming very closer to 0, then we will get much more correct approximation. Therefore, we can use these techniques for the very small values of h. Here we can see uh, another example taken for the forward differencing, backward differencing, and the central differencing method. Here we are asking to find, or we are asking to approximate the value of f dash 0.9, where fx given as the sine x. For these values, x equals 0.1, 0.01 and 0.001. And then you are asked to compare this result with f dash 0.9. It is the cosine 0.9. It is quite like this. Now think you are having the function fx. If this is the function fx, it is given as sine x. And now what you have to do is, first of all, you have to take the derivative of this function f with respect to x. Then if you take the derivative, then the derivative of sine will be cosine, and then the derivative of this function is cosine x. Therefore, if you are substituting the value of x equals 0.9, value of x equals 0.9 here, this gives the exact value. This gives the exact value. It is because exactly we have used the different these techniques of the derivatives. Therefore, using this equation for the x equals zero point 0.9, we can get the exact value. Therefore, now first of all, you have to use the forward differencing, backward differencing, and central differencing method, and then you are asked to compare this value with the exact values. Okay, now we'll see how we can perform the calculation. Here it is the forward differencing method is used as the initial method. Then if you go through that method, you can say the function is defined as fx, it is given, it is sin x. Then using the forward differencing method, you can see the equation which is related to forward difference method is this. Then once you apply the appropriate values for x1 and h, then you will get the value for the function at 0 0.9. It is the value we have to set the value of x1 equals to 0 0.9. Then this is equal to sine 0 0.9 plus h minus sine 0 0.9 divided by h. And then what we have to do is we have to obtain the values using the forward differencing techniques for the given values of h. Now you can see these are the values of h, and then what you have to do is you have to compare these results using this exact value, using the exact value. Therefore, if you are trying to do this using the calculator, what you have to do first is, first of all, you have to give this function in the calculator. Here you can see it is the first of all you are using, since you are using this sine function, then we have to convert our calculator into radian measures. It is because these are given as the radians, not with the degree measures. Therefore, first of all we have to convert the calculator to radian measures, and then we will insert this function in the calculator. It is 0 0.9 plus h. Instead of h I am using a, then this minus sine 0 0.9, then divided by 8. And then what you have to do next is you are asked to obtain the value for the exact value also. Therefore, we can use this as using another function. Therefore, you can separate it, and the exact value that we are getting the exact value as cosine 0 0.9. It is the cosine 0 0.9, and once you subtract the answer you are obtaining at this point, then you can get this answer for this difference between exact value and the approximate value. As the answer you are getting the approximate value, it is because using the first equation you are obtaining the approximate answer. Then you are comparing these two values with the approximate answer with the cosine 0 0.9. It is the exact value. And once you perform the calculation, and you can say value of h equals 0.1, therefore the answer you are getting is 0 0.58 1440751. There is a typing mistake here, please omit this. 0.4407.18. And once you press the equal sign again, then you can see the difference between these two exact value and the approximation value. Then I have taken it as it is given as 0.01692. Therefore I have considered it using the standard form. Therefore I am taking it as 4 times 0170 into 10 to the power minus 2. Then we have to set the next h value, it is 0.001. Then the answer is 0.6. The value is 0.01. Then we can say that the answer obtained using the forward differencing technique is this. And then you have to compare the exact value with approximate value. Here we can get it as 3.9270 into 10 to the power minus 3. Here this the difference I have just fixed into 4 decimal places only. Therefore, with the significant figures, I have used this. Here we can see once we are having the values in this way, we can easily compare these values using the 10 to the power 10 to the minus powers. Then we can compare this next value is 0.001. Then you can get the third value for this forward differencing technique, and then the difference between the exact value and the approximation would be 3.9177 into 10 to the power minus 4. Therefore, this is how we are performing this calculation, and we can redo this calculation for the backward differencing method as well as for the central differencing method. The only only change that we have to make here is just use the appropriate equation to backward differencing method and the central differencing method. Therefore, these are the answers that I have obtained, and here the difference is just considered, we have considered the absolute value of the difference. I am not taking the I have just considered the magnitude only. I do not need to take the exact value. It is just the whether it is minus or plus. I just need to consider how many units or how far or the approximation and exact value. Therefore, I just need to take the distance only. That is why I have considered this magnitude value of these differences. Therefore, using the backward differencing technique, you can obtain these values, and once you use the central differencing technique, you can obtain these values. And even though you have compared these three values, now you can see that once the value of h is getting more and more closer to 0, you are getting much more good approximations. It is because we are having very small deviations. Here it is 10 to the power minus 4, and here also we can see that it is a value which is around 10 to the power minus 4. If you use the central differencing technique, it is much more accurate. Therefore, uh, for the smaller values of h, we are getting very good results. And if we compare these three methods, forward differencing, backward differencing, and central differencing technique, then you can see that we are getting much more good results for the central differencing technique. It is because we can see that the deviations are quite smaller once you compare them with the forward differencing technique and the backward differencing technique. Therefore, we can say that the central differencing technique is much more good once we compare them with the forward and the backward differencing techniques. Now we will go for the 3-point formula. In the 3-point formula, here we actually we are considering 3 points. In the previous one, we just had x1 and h, x1 plus h or x1 minus h. Therefore, in the previous methods, we had used 2 points to obtain the derivative of the function at a given point x1, and once we come for the 3-point formula, here we are dealing in 3 points. Therefore, if we are going to deal with 3-point formula, then there are two types for this 3-point formula. The first one is the 3-point endpoint formula, and the next one is the 3-point midpoint formula. For the 3-point endpoint formula, we are using the equation f dash x1. It is the derivative for function f at the point x1. It is defined as 1 over 2 times h, 1 over 2 times h, this times minus 3 times value for the function f at point x1 denoted by fx1 plus 4 times fx1 plus h. This is the value for the function f at the point x1 plus h minus fx1 plus 2 times h. It is the value for the function at the point x1 plus 2h. Therefore, if you see about these 3 points, if this is your point x1, then this would be the next point. It is, if I name them as x2, it is the second point. Actually, this distance is h distance. That is why I have used this as x1 plus h. And now you can see that the next point is actually h distance away from x2. If you consider the distance from x1, now you can see it is away from 2h distance away from this point x1. That is how we are defining this as this next point as x1 plus h, You can see the second point is given as x1 plus h, and the third point is given as the x1 plus 2h. Therefore, if you need to obtain one point, the derivative of this point, then we are using two other points. Therefore, altogether we are using 3 points for this equation. This is said to be the 3-point endpoint formula. We are using these 3-point endpoint formulas to identify the values at the endpoints. Though if this is the point, then we can use the 3-point endpoint formula to obtain the value at this point, as well as you can use this to obtain value at this point, and you can use the this formula 3-point endpoint formula to obtain the value at this endpoint. And the next method is the 3-point midpoint formula. We can use this formula to identify the values for the derivative of the functions once we are having these points as the midpoints. It should not be the endpoints, then we can use the midpoint formula. The midpoint formula is f dash x1, it is equal to f x1 plus h minus f x1 minus h. Therefore, this is the formula we are using, and here I have denoted what are the midpoints, and these are said to be the endpoint. This is these are the two endpoints we are using. Therefore, if you are using 3-point endpoint formula, you can use them to identify the value of x1 and this value of x4. And if you need to identify the value of x dash x at this x point x2 and point x3, then definitely we have to use the 3-point midpoint formula. It is because these points are not the endpoints. Okay, now we will see how we can use these two methods to identify the values for the function, the derivative of the function f at the given points. Okay, this is one example. In this example, they are asking us use the most appropriate 3-point formulas to determine the approximations which complete the following tables. It means that here they have given some values for the function f at the point x1. Here we have considered 4 points. Now the values are point 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 and 1.4, and the associated values for the function f with these points are 9.02501, 11.02318, 13.46374, 16.44465. And now you are asked to complete this table. It means that in the third column they are asking the derivative for the function f at the given points. Now here if you draw this in a number line, you can see these are the points we are having. Here the point is 1.1, the next point is 1.2, next point is 1.3, and the next point is 1.4. And if you see about these 4 points, still we know we are having two methods that we can apply to identify the derivative. Therefore, if you consider the first case, it is the 3-point endpoint formula, then you can apply it to get the value for f dash x at this point, f dash x value at this. You can use it to obtain the value at this point, and then you can use the value to obtain the value at this point. And if you are using midpoint formulas, then you can them to identify the values of the point 1.2 as well as the point 1.3. This is how we can apply these formulas to identify the values for f dash x1. You can use the midpoint formula to obtain the values for these two cases, and you can apply the midpoint, the endpoint formulas to identify the values at this point as well as in this point. Now we will use them in the appropriate manner, and we will see what are the answers that we can get. Okay. Now, when we are going to perform this calculation, first of all, we need to identify if the function is given as fx. If the function is given as fx, first of all, we need to fill this second column. If only the function is given and this x values are given. But in this case, they have given us the fx1 value. Therefore, no need to use this function fx. Now it has already given in the calculation. No need to go for that calculation. Therefore, here we need to identify what is the value of h. Actually, when we are going to calculate the value of h, we are taking it is the difference between any two given consecutive points of h. Therefore, if you take the difference between these two, 1.1 and 1.2, the value of h is now equal to 0.1. And if you are using these methods, then value of h should be similar for all these cases. Now it is 0.1, in between these two again value is 0.1, in between these two also we are having the value of h as 0.1. Now we can use this technique, this 3-point endpoint formula, to identify the values at point x equals 1.1 and 1.4. If you apply them in this equation, now you can see that first of all, I will apply this. I will write the 3-point endpoint formula. This is the 3-point endpoint formula we are having. And first of all, I will set the values for x1 equals 1.1. Now I am substituting the value of x1 equals to 1.1. Therefore, I am getting here it is 1 divided by 2 times h. Value of h was 0.1. Then this times minus 3 times f. Here x1 is 1.1. I am substituting that value for the x1. Then this plus 4 times f. Here x1 is 1.1, h is 0.1, minus f. Then this is the value for x1, it is 1.1. Then 2 times h, it is 2 times 0.1. Then I am still doing the calculation for these values inside the bracket. Then I am getting this as f dash 1.1 is equal to 1 divided by 0.2 times minus 3 times f1.1. This is said to be the value for the function f at 1.1. Then 4 times f1.2. Once you do this calculation, 1.1 plus 0.1, you are getting this 1.2. Here 1.1 plus 0.2 gives the value as 1.3. Now you have to identify these three values, f1.1, f1.2 and f1.3, using this table. Therefore, if you use these three values, then you can see f1.1 is equal to 9.02501, f1.2 is equal to 11.02318, and f1.3 is equal to 13.46374. Therefore, using the appropriate substitution, we can obtain the value for f dash 1.1 is equal to 17.76975. This is how we are using 3-point endpoint formula to identify the value for the derivative at point 1.1. Here, if I explain this again, this 9.02501 is the value for the function f at the given point 1.1. Here we need to identify f1.2. f1.2 is this value 11.02318. You can see it here. For the f1.3, you can see the value is 13.46374. Likewise, you can get the values for f dash 1.1. Then you can use this to identify. Now we have finished this part. Then we need to use this technique to identify the value at x1 equals 1.4. Now this is the last value we are having. Therefore, in this, when we are using this endpoint formula, now if you see 1.1, since this is the starting point, I have considered h in this way. But 1.4 is the final value I am having. I cannot go beyond this 1.4. There is no such h values exist in beyond 1.4. Therefore, I have to consider this in the negative direction. Therefore, I am consider here minus h. I have to consider minus h value. Therefore, since we have already identified h as 0.1, Then in the next case, we need to take this as minus 0.1. We'll see how we can perform the calculation to obtain the value at this point. If you come to this value calculation, now you can see that here we are using the same equation, but the only change we are making is we are just replacing h with minus h. Therefore, once you perform the calculation by substituting x1 equals 1.4 and h equals 0.1, then we will get the substitution in this way. The value for x1 1.4, x1 plus h is 1.4 plus h is now minus 0.1. Then here it is 1.4 plus 2 times minus 0.1. Therefore, I am getting the substitution in this way. It is minus 3 times f1.4 plus 4 times f1.3 minus f1.2. Therefore, the f dash 1.4 is now we are getting this as here. This should be correct as 1.4. 1.4, it is now 1 divided by 0.2. Now this is the value we have obtained for f1.4. This is the value the given for 13 given for f1.3, and here we can see the value given for 1.2 is 11.02 318. Therefore, using this appropriate substitution, you can get the value of f dash 1.4. If this is f dash 1.4, this is equal to 32.51084. Therefore, this is how we are using the 3-point endpoint formulas to identify the values for the derivative at a given point. Now we will see, now we have finished the obtaining values for these two endpoints. Now we have to pay the attention for these two midpoints. Therefore, for obtaining the values at point 1.2 and 1.3, you have to use the 3-point midpoint formula. The 3-point midpoint formula is given in this form: 1 divided by 2h, f x1 plus h minus f x1 minus h. Therefore, once you do the calculation appropriately, here we need to get value of x1, it is 1.2, and value of h is 0.1. Once you perform the calculation using appropriate substitution, then you can get this as f1.3 minus 1.1, and then you can refer the table to obtain these function values. Then once you perform this calculation, you can easily obtain value for the derivative of the function at 1.2. Therefore, the calculation gives you the value as 22.193635. Now we need to identify the value for 1.3. Therefore, this is now our value of x1 is 1.3. Since this is the value of x1 is now 1.3, here I have substitute x1 equals 1.3 and value of h is 0.1. Then to perform this calculation using the appropriate substitution, I have obtained it as 1 divided by 0.2 times f1.4 minus f1.2. Now I need to identify these two values using the table. The value for f1.4 was, you can see value for f1.4 was 16.44465, and 1.2 it was 11.032381. Therefore, you can see those are the two values we have used. Then the calculation used the value for the derivative of function at 1.3 as 27.10735. Therefore, this is how we are using the numerical differentiation techniques without using the concepts of the techniques of the derivatives. We are using the fundamental concept only. Therefore, thereafter we are using the approximation techniques to obtain the derivative for a given function. Okay, thank you all for joining with this session.